Not the most crafty, but we got some glue.
I like that I just realized that this is for the paint and I drank it.
Hey guys, it's Shannon with iHeartRadio Canada, here with Lauren Ash. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
We were just talking about our crafting abilities.
Yes.
Not so great, pretty good, average.
Again, I want to believe I'm better than I am,
Right.
I think is part of it. I come from, my mother is very crafty. She's a seamstress. She's very good at it and was always a little bit concerned about how I was not picking up on that skill set more easily.
Right.
So, but we Christmas craft every year. It's one
great.
of our traditions.
Nice,
Yeah.
amazing. So we have ornaments here. You get to choose.
Okay.
Snowman, this.
Oh, the tree.
A tree?
The tree.
I was thinking the tree too.
Right? Because then you can like fake decorate the tree.
That's so true.
How
Okay, I'm
festive
gonna do a
and
tree
sweet.
too, so
Okay.
we match.
All
I'm
right.
also not the most crafty, but we got some glue.
I like that I just realized that this is for the paint and I drank it. I was like, oh, lovely.
Which
You
is-
can see my little lips on there, my little lipstick.
It is a clean glass, so you're
I'm
good.
okay.
That's yours now.
It's
we
mine to
can
keep.
get another one probably for us to paint with,
You
so
know
we
what?
don't double up.
It's fine. As long as you're okay with my backwash potentially being in your paints, then I think we're all right.
And then we'll use it from now on as the paint.
Great.
Okay, perfect.
From now on, starting now.
Starting now. Okay,
Okay,
good. But we don't want to poison you. I'm so sorry.
It's-
and
I
then
don't
you
feel
can
poisoned.
go all out with the stickers, with the glitter, the markers.
Yeah.
We're really getting
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah, okay.
While I ask you about Christmas music.
Please.
Oh my goodness, congratulations on your EP.
Thank you so much.
What can you not do? Like singing, podcast, acting?
My taxes. I'm really, again, my mother, also an accountant, and she's just like, how do you not get this? It's so, I always wanted to be in a band.
Did you?
That was my dream
Yeah.
in high school. And then even before that, I always wanted to be in a band. And the joke was, of course, that I ended up becoming an actor, which is wonderful. But this is really me like living out my teenage dream.
Amazing.
Which is so fun.
I love that. Do you think that there's like, I don't know how to say it, but like, is it difficult to go from acting to singing because people are like, oh, now she wants to be a singer because she's an actor?
I was really scared of that. That's kind of why I think one of the reasons why it took me so long to actually try it.
Yeah.
I was worried that people would kind of view it that way. And to be honest, like for the most part, I've been very lucky. For the most part, I think people have been really supportive, and musicians especially have been really supportive.
Right.
But yeah, that's your concern, is that people like roll their eyes and they're like, oh, great. Like, the lady from television now wants to go follow her bliss, blah. But honestly, it's like the best thing I've ever done.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you
it
say
really
that?
is. So basically this year for my birthday, I hired a band and I performed a set of like cover songs. I forced all of my family and friends to fly to LA to watch. And it was the best night of my life. And I was like, why am I not doing this? I loved it so much. I felt alive in a way, because listen, I did live comedy for many, many years, and that's a joy too, but it's different. There's something about the exchange of energy when you're playing live music that's really delicious. And so I was like, I should be doing this. And so then that's when I started like, I've always written my own songs since I was a kid. It's just always been like my like private practice in my living room at night after I would like get home from shooting a long day on Superstore. I would like pick up my guitar and write a song. But I never played them for anybody. So this is just me like taking the next step.
Yeah. When was the first time that you like gave something of your own to the world?
Exactly. And certainly in this way, like comedy is different. Like, I wrote obviously comedy when I was working at the Second City and all the above. But again, this is just a different kind of experience. I find it a lot more vulnerable.
Yeah.
To be like, oh, I'm writing about my feelings and I'm singing about my feelings, my earnestly, and here you go. Here's my heart. Please don't crush it. Please don't put it in a blender. And so it was really nerve-wracking. Like when I was first meeting with a producer, he was like, just come over and play me some of your songs. And I was like, you want me to just open my guitar case and then I pull out the guitar and I just play them here?
Yeah.
Okay. It was truly the most scared I feel like I've ever been for anything.
Right.
And but it's been wonderful.
Good.
It's been like the best experience.
I'm so glad to hear that. What is it about like pop punk music? Was that always something that you listened to growing up?
Yeah, Blink-182 is like definitely my touchstone. I mean, I was into a lot of Canadian music in high school, like that kind of like cool era where it was like all the Canadian bands were so popular, like
Sum 41?
pre that, dating myself, a little bit older. No, it was like Treble Charger, Econoline Crush, my favorite band of all time, The Age of Electric, then of course Limb Lifter. That was really, the Tea Party, like that was really Moist. This was my era, and so, but then that kind of led into, as I got a little bit older, listening to Blink-182.
Okay.
Gob was another great Canadian punk band I loved.
feel like Gob is so underrated.
So underrated. I actually started a music project a few years ago, and the vision was that I would re-record Too Late No Friends in its entirety, but as like super melodramatic, like Lilith Fair folk music.
Wow.
And I only ever got through 2 songs, and then of course the project got away from me. But it was actually really fun.
That's incredible. You should bring that back.
I should. I mean, now's the time. Now the world has my ear, or rather, my mouth.
What inspired the Christmas album then?
So I'm legitimately the biggest Christmas freak on the planet.
Yeah, you have a Christmas room in your house?
Correct, year round. So one year I decorated a tree, and I was really proud of how it turned out. And I was like, I'm never going to be able to recreate this. I got to just keep it up year round. So I turned my spare bedroom into the Christmas room. And there is a 7-foot tall, beautifully decorated tree in there. There's Christmas bedding, there's Christmas decor.
No way.
And so whenever anybody comes to stay, they're like, in July, for example, I'm like, well, buckle in.
That's incredible.
Sleigh bells ring.
I love that so much. Now you have an ornament to add to your 7-foot.
It's beautiful.
You can remember us
forever. Well,
forever.
listen, truthfully, I do put up 3 trees.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. So the one that I have put up is very stylized. This will go on the other tree, and then I have a Canadian tree.
You do?
So people will gift me Canadian ornaments.
Oh, okay.
Like I have a TTC car, streetcar. I have a little raccoon. I have all these different ornaments, and so I started a tree, and I made a tree topper, and it is a Canadian flag with a picture of Ryan Reynolds wearing a CBC t-shirt on it, because that's the most Canadian thing you can get.
That is the most Canadian.
Yeah.
That's
so
incredible.
yeah, so I was kind of like trying to think about what to do next in music, and I was talking to the guys over at Wax Records, and they were like, what about pop punk Christmas? And I was like, stop drilling, you've hit oil.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah.
And then why those 3 songs? Like, why not more? Why those covers?
We went on. We recorded more. Those were the 3 that we kind of landed on. But we wrote more originals and we did more covers. But it was kind of like, let's give a taste. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how we feel, type thing. And so I was really passionate about Sad This Christmas. I was really passionate about that as a song. I love Christmas, but equally as much as I love it, it's a tough time. It can be like a very nuanced, emotional time for a lot of people, including me. And so I thought that was a whole. I don't feel like I've heard any like melancholy songs. I've heard negative songs, angry songs, but a melancholy song is kind of something that I feel like I haven't heard a lot of in the Christmas music space. So I was really excited to put that out there. And I've gotten a lot of really nice feedback from listeners saying like, this is like the right amount. It's like, you don't hate the holiday. You don't hate that it's coming. It's just that it's like, oh yeah, another year. What does this mean? Like taking stock of where you are, where you aren't in life, the things you may want and not have or not have achieved yet. I think that's like a real kind of like relatable human experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think that the holidays are so focused towards like families and people who are in relationships. So it is good to like have something that isn't totally just focused on that.
Totally.
Yeah, that's great. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Speaking of you being from Canada, what was the best thing about working at Zellers, and what was the worst thing about working at Zellers?
Oh my gosh. So I worked in the footwear department first, and it was awful. It was like people really had an expectation that you were an expert in like children's shoe sizes. They'd be like, measure my children's feet. And I was like, I get paid $6 an hour. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm 15.
Right.
But then I made a kind of ploy to get moved up to cash, to work the cash register. And let me tell you a little something. That's when it all changed.
Yeah.
That's when I really came to life. And I really just wanted to push the buttons. Like if something didn't scan, it was the like most, maybe this is my mother's accounting roots coming out in me, but if something didn't scan, I would be so excited to like type in the number.
No way.
Yeah. It's so nerdy.
Just to like fix it?
Just to like feel the feeling of the buttons.
Right. I get that though.
You know what I mean?
I would
Like,
so
it's
much rather
really-
do that than the shoes.
Oh yeah, it's much more satisfying to like input the numbers and then have it like scan through than it is to like spend 6 hours just straightening shoes.
Right.
And then you get to the end and you're like, I did it. And then you're like, wait, somebody's gone back to the beginning and messed them up.
Oh.
And now it just starts again.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
It's depressing. It's depressing.
So you got that kind of from your mom, but then the
I think
crafting,
so.
not so much.
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
My crafting is not going well over here.
I don't know what my vision is yet.
I
I'm
didn't
just
have
like,
a
you
plan,
know,
and I'm regretting that.
Yeah, I thought I was really feeling the paints, so then we'll just see what goes on top.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah, yours is looking great.
you can't judge it, you know, the art is valid because it exists.
Yeah. What was the best gift that you got from during the holidays growing up? Can you recall?
Ooh, well, one of them, of course, was my first acoustic guitar. That was
Oh.
definitely up there for me, which I still have in my apartment here in Toronto. I was really, I mean, the New Kids on the Block dolls were also very big during my time.
Hey,
very
that's
big.
probably worth something these days.
I should find it. I should find it. I should find it. I also had some like Beverly Hills 90210 dolls I was a really big fan of.
Nice.
This is too wet to stick stickers too. Fantastic.
Oh no.
You know what? This is what we do. We flip it. We
Oh my
flip
goodness.
it.
I didn't even think of that.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm gonna
Whole
have
new
time
world.
to do a whole other
Whole
side.
new world.
But that's so. Did you come from a musical family? Like, where did that?
No, I really didn't. I thought they were like anti-music. It wasn't Footloose in the house, but you know, I feel like my mother had like 2 tapes growing up for me, which were Michael Jackson's Bad
Nice.
and Rick Astley's first album.
Incredible.
And then I remember my grandmother used to play me records and stuff like that, but I really got into music, I think kind of out of nowhere. Like, I don't know. I remember I was in like choir as a little girl and I really loved that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know that my family kind of knew where it came from. And then I kind of went all in. And like when I was in high school, like I was in a band. I played bass guitar in our like school band, like the like, not, we didn't march, but like the equivalent, like whatever
Right.
you call it, concert band.
Yeah, yeah.
I played bass guitar in there. I ran all the school coffee houses. Like, music was intrinsically a huge part of my life. Like, when I say that I really wanted to be a rock star, I'm not being facetious. Like, it really was like, that was far more of a dream for me than acting.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild how that works out.
It is. It is.
That's crazy. So what's the dream now? Like, what's the plan? Release a full album?
Yeah.
Grammys?
Definitely releasing a full album. You know, I think for me, like, a big part of what I love about playing music is playing the shows live. So I think that's a big focus for me too. Like, I really would like to play more live shows. I played a show at the Whiskey A Go Go in Los Angeles a couple of months ago, and that I was like, that was a trip because there's so much history in that room. And if you're like a big fan of rock music, as I come about honestly, I was like, this is kind of the coolest experience ever. And that again is like, you know, one of those feelings that you can't create.
Right.
And it's different. There's an exchange of energy that happens, I think, when you're playing live music. The comedy's different. Like, when I did the Second City, which was an amazing time, people are sitting in the dark and you're kind of saying, presenting, and then they laugh, right? It's an
Right.
exchange in that way, but it feels transactional.
Okay.
To me, when you play music, it feels like it's an exchange, right? Like, you feed off of the energy of each other.
Right.
You're connecting with people, you're seeing joy, people are being moved to physically move along with you. Like, what a trip, like,
Yeah,
what
you're
a gift.
creating something
You're
else
creating
together.
the experience together,
Right.
right? And playing that show at the Whiskey, there was some fans of mine that showed up and they were singing along to my song, Now I Know, the first single I put out. They knew every word. And I was
Wow.
like, this is a wild feeling. Because
Yeah.
when something starts as being what you feel is very small and precious, playing in your living room on your acoustic guitar, and then it's a huge song that you play with a band, which is already cool enough. But then you play it live and people come out and they like it and they sing along with you and they're excited to hear your song that was your tiny little private secret thing.
Right.
I mean, that's the coolest.
Yeah. How do you beat that?
Can't beat it.
That's so
To me,
wild.
can't beat it.
Nice. How's it going over there?
I'm really taking some liberties.
It's looking good.
Thank you so much. Trying to fill the blank spaces.
Yeah. That's.
I'm a blank space baby.
It is hard to like be creative and do this while chatting
It is.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
I kind of like, it's kind of like this thing, like you pat your head and rub your tummy at the same time, but I kind of am enjoying the challenge.
Yeah, it is good. It's nice.
Well, here's another fun fact for you.
Please.
A Lauren Ash music fun fact. So as I mentioned, Age of Electric is my favorite band of all time.
Yeah.
When they cried, I was on a mailing list. This is, again, dating myself. Hello, 80s babies, calling you.
Fan club.
They sent out a physical paper, like, monthly newsletter.
Right.
And I remember receiving the one where it was like, the band is breaking up.
Oh, no.
And I called my cousin Christy, who I host my podcast, True Crime and Cocktails, with. I called her and I was like, are you sitting down? Age of Electric is breaking up. And we cried. We earnestly cried about this. Oh, yeah. And so when they reunited a few years ago, I got on planes to see that band. I flew to Regina. I flew to Vancouver. And my cousin and I, we went to these shows. So then we start doing the podcast. And of course, we often talk about Age of Electric on the podcast.
Right.
And of course, Canada is the smallest town in the world. Who do we get? Who reaches out to us? Todd Kearns.
Incredible.
Was like, hey, his wife is like, hey, we heard that you like the band. Do you want to come on Todd's internet talk show? And I was like, as a guest, to talk to him directly? Okay. So this was during the pandemic, and so it was all virtual. And I'll never forget, I have done a lot in my career. I have been a lot of places, I've done a lot of things. And I was literally like, I don't know what to do with my hands. I'm on Zoom, like he can't see my hands. And I literally was finding myself like in the most bizarre positions. And anyway, so he interviewed me. It was my heart like was racing. Like when I called my mother and I was like, I'm doing a Todd Kearns thing. She was like, Todd Kearns? Like it was like literally. So we became friendly and we ended up meeting up and becoming friends. And I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever.
Wow.
Long story short, he was the person that hooked me up with the guys that played my music with me at my concert in February for my birthday and then recorded my music with me. I had originally asked him, I was like, is there any way you'd be willing to, guest and do this? And he was like, oh, I can't, I'm not available, but here's some good guys. Cut to June of this year, I am doing a full single release party for Now I Know in LA. And I was like, the guy who had been playing guitar for me wasn't available. And I was like, hey, is there any way you want to play this show? He was like, hell yeah, man.
No way.
So then, I'll cut ahead, obviously. I'm on stage, I'm performing next to the person who is the lead singer and guitarist for my favorite band of all time. It was, without hyperbole, the coolest, most special moment of my life.
Wow.
I couldn't look at him. I was like, it was like looking at the sun. You had to look away. Like, it's like, oh, I can't do it. It was truly like, if you did nothing else, Ash, you did something right.
Yeah.
You did good. What a cool story.
That's incredible. They say don't meet your heroes, but I guess that's not the case.
The best.
Yeah.
The best.
Wow.
Canadian. Come on.
Yeah.
The best.
And how full circle. That's
totally
like the
full
amount
circle.
of things that have happened in your life for that to happen.
Yeah, one of the first songs that I wrote when I was about 13 years old, which was bad. 6-ish minutes long. I played
Do you remember what it was?
I remember lyrics to it,
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll do it. I'll play ball. But I will just say I played this publicly. Like, people had to sit through this.
Oh, no way.
But it was written about the first time that I met the Age of Electric at Edgefest.
Nice. Wow.
I'll give you a little taste.
Okay.
This is My eyes fill with amazement as they gaze into yours. I become engulfed in a sea of blue. I can see inside to your inner beauty, which is shining through. I mean, it really repeated a lot for a long time. Yeah.
6 minutes.
6 minutes of it. And then there's no real bridge. There was no pre-chorus. It was kind of just, verses, extended choruses back and forth for some time. But hey, you got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
You got to
and
cross
look
a
where you are
line
now.
to know where it is.
Yeah.
Didn't know where it was at the time, but that's not the point.
But here
Hardly
we are
the
now.
point. Here I am now.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now I know.
That's
now I know.
Incredible. Sweet. Do you want to keep going with your tree?
I'm going to do one last...
On this little detail?
Ooh, yeah. We're going to do a little bit of the black glitter. I don't know. The black glitter.
Hey,
are you ready to present?
I'm ready to present, but
Shoot,
no
okay.
rush at all.
No, just let me do
I
this
can
final
keep
bit.
adding glitter and things.
Well, listen, art is never done, they say. Isn't that the other thing? I'm really giving you a real kind of range of...
Yeah, of everything. I love it. Who do you want to collab with now that you've collabed with your top pick?
I mean, Harry Styles is the dream.
Yeah, right.
Obviously, but not that that's the same genre as me, but I think he's the best. Youngblood. I love
yeah.
Youngblood so much, which would be
Nice.
so cool. Okay.
Okay, let's present.
Okay.
Ta-da!
This side, questionable choices.
I think yours looks great. And the double-sided.
But then this side, whimsy,
yeah, it's good. It's like two-themed.
right?
This side has nothing, and this side has
I
all this.
love what you did with those lights down below.
Oh, thank you so much.
The texture, the layering.
Thank you for noticing.
I did.
Yeah, the attention
I
to
did.
detail.
Yep.
That's great. Lauren, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And for singing for us, a
Oh my
private
God.
show.
It's, listen,
Who would have thought?
it's my gift to you.